Welcome to Dance Mogul TV. My name is Anthony Harris. We're here with the great and talented Alicia, Graf, Mack. How are you?
Great.
Good. First, let me start off by saying that I've interviewed a lot of people about you, and they all said the same thing about you. But it was kind of like a broken record. She's great. She's so humble. So I want to expound on that. What makes you great? And with being great, what makes you stay humble? We can start with that.
That's a pretty big question. I don't know if I know how to answer that very well, but I think if you strive for greatness every day on a small scale, there is a chance that every day you build on to that, and it multiplies and somehow expands so that people get to know who you are, and whatever that is that drives you you're able to express that and people will see it. So I don't know, when I was little, my mom used to say, do your best and God will take care of the rest. And you know, I tell myself that every day. Because I love what I do as a dancer. I think it's more than just steps and movement. I think it's about self-expression. It's about being your greatest self. It's about touching the lives of other people. It's about making a difference in people's lives. So there's a bigger mission for me to being a professional dancer than just being on stage. And in order to ring true as a dancer, you have to be humble and honest. In order to touch someone, you have to be honest in your delivery of the movement, of the step, or else it just won't ring true.
You interviewed your sister, and she also let us know that when you were little, that you always knew what you want, and that you always knew you wanted to be a dancer. What clicked when you were little, if you can remember, when you were little, to say, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to stick it out? Mm-hmm. And it was that determinants when you were little that made your parents keep, supporting you in that aspect?
The thing that I remember when I was little, I know it because I still feel it now. I still feel like this excitement about, I can't wait to get on stage. There's something about it that it just fits me, it suits me, it's who I am. Something about that performance aspect, and something about getting in the studio every day and working on my craft. I love it. And this week I was off from, I wasn't required to rehearse this week or dance or anything. But I was excited to go to class every day because it was my time to give an hour and a half to myself to work on my craft. And I was excited about it. And that's the same feeling I had when I was a kid. But my mom, she recognized that I love to move. The story goes that she is a professor by trade, but I call her a Renaissance woman because she loves to dance and sing and paint and play the piano, even though she's not formally trained in any of those things. So she had a modeling school when I was young in the evenings, and she was a former model as well. And the school was in the same building as a dance school. So she would bring me at 2 years old with her to work, and while she taught the kids modeling, I would stand in the window and watch the little girls do the ballet class. And after a while, the teacher just said, even though she's still in diapers, just let her in, because at this point she's doing all the things that the little girls are doing outside of the door, so just let her in. So that's how I started training at 2.5. And I just stuck to it because I loved it. My parents have never pushed me to dance, to do anything beyond what I wanted to do. But once I really got serious about training, it was hard. It's expensive to train a classical ballerina. It is not a cheap thing. You can't do it in school. It's not something that's offered in a lot of the public school systems. And then the costumes, and I did some international competitions, and to be at a certain level, you have to do very prestigious and competitive summer programs. So since I was 12, I was in New York every summer, training at School of American Ballet, at American Ballet Theater. I was at Broadway Dance Center, at Steps, from a very young age, just to put yourself out there. So already at 12 years old, you're already networking to get into these companies. And they knew how much I sacrificed. I didn't really have a high school life, high school life experience like most people. I did go to a public school, but by 2 o'clock I was already leaving to go to train all night and on the weekends. So.
You know, in regular school that, when you, let's say, super smart and you above average, they send you to the different classes because, you're actually excelling faster than everybody else. Was that like that for you with dance, where you were excelling at a certain rate that people could see, like, ooh, who's that?
Yes.
And did you feel that yourself? Did you know that? You like, yeah, I got it. Did you know that?
I knew that I was talented. I knew that I was exceptional. People would tell me that, but there were a lot of challenges that I had when I was younger, even though I felt like I could do certain movements, or I knew my facility was right for dance. I'm tall, I'm long, I have a lot of flexibility, I have very flexible feet, and those things I was born with. So, already you're already starting at a positive. It's just like a basketball player, if you're over 6 feet, 6'2", you might have a better chance of playing basketball than someone who's 5'2". So, the body did help. But the challenges that I faced also was that I kept growing, and I'm 5'10", which is very unusual for a ballet dancer. And I'm a woman of color, which is also unusual for a ballet dancer. And I was aware of those things from the time I was 12 or 13, when I would come to New York and I would be heads over all of the girls in my class and the only person of color in my class. So that was the first time that it hit me, because I grew up in a really diverse city, in Columbia, Maryland, where there was all types of kids. So I wasn't really the only one. And when I came to New York and I was brought to this upper echelon of the students who were really seen all over the world as the ones who were going to make it in the professional world, I saw that I did not look like everyone else. And that was like a blow. So I tried to be in the back of the room. I lost a lot of self-confidence because I wasn't getting the attention that I had when I was in Maryland. Everybody wanted to train me and give me corrections. When I came to New York, I might have gotten one note in a whole summer.
And you think that was purposely done to you?
I'm not sure that it's purposeful, but it shows that when you get to a different level, it's not like everything is going to be given to you. And once I came home, that only fueled my desire to be the best dancer that I could be. And when I was 17, I was offered to come to New York and dance for Dance Theater of Harlem. And I hadn't even finished my high school training yet. I was a senior in high school. And my parents, thankfully, said, she's wanted this all her life. So as long as she can finish high school in New York, she should go. So they supported my dream and allowed their 17-year-old to...
By yourself?
By myself, to move to New York and tour with Dance Theater of Harlem, and it was the best decision for me.
From there, everything started to skyrocket. How do you keep the fire in you to keep wanting to be better from that young age all the way to now? How do you keep that fire? Because like you said, sometimes you lose your self-esteem sometimes, or sometimes you feel that maybe, I've done this, I've done that. How do you keep the fire going?
I think that it's a good question, because it's hard when you do it every day. And especially working with Ailey, we're always touring, and so you just get exhausted, really. It's like your body feels like you just can't continue. But I try to reach back to the feeling that I had when I was a kid, when I just want to move. I'm that person, a week of being sedentary, I'm jittery. Like, my mood is bad, I get, like fussy, And I know it's because I haven't moved. I haven't expressed myself. The want to move helps with feeling that fire. But also, I work in a very competitive field. And I think just being in the studio around people who are extremely talented and seeing what they're doing and how they approach movement, that helps me to continue to want to strive to be great. And also, when I think about the support that I've received from my parents, from my sister, from my husband, everyone who's rooting for me, it's almost like I gotta do this because there's been so much sacrifice for me to be able to do what I do. It hasn't just been Alicia working hard. It's been my whole family and my friends and everybody pushing me, to say, whatever you want to do, you can achieve it. And so that's just how the dream continues.
Dancing with Ellie, I asked the dancers at Ellie too this. You know how the street dancers, they have the circles in the back. Do you guys battle?
No, we don't specifically battle. Like, you won't see it as a battle, but you will see, let's say there's several casts of ballet, and there's a first, a second, and a third cast. Not saying which one is better or not, but you definitely watch people and say, oh, okay, I see how they do it. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do that. But the difference between, like, in the street dance world or the hip hop world where there's a battle, it's one against the other. Ailey, we're a family, we're a team. So when there is like that competition, hopefully it's a healthy competition that it keeps everyone rising to a new level. You don't want to have a rivalry with your coworker, because we're supposed to be a team. We're supposed to all work together. And I truly believe that that can happen. And I think that that's what should happen in a company where we're representing, especially African American culture all over the world. We have to come off as a group that loves each other. So.
Yes, I understand. With your experience now, you know about things like dancer branding and the auditions and how to carry yourself. At a young age, who told you about that stuff, or did you pick up on your own as far as, like you said, being open to being molded, because that'll make people want to work with you because they feel that you're too to the left. They go, she's an individual we can work with. Like you said, a team. They're looking for team players. Did you know about that, or people were schooling you about that?
I think it's a combination of having parents, people who are just stand-up people. Whenever we would go out, people would shake my dad's hand, and the way that they looked at him, I knew that he was somebody, and he always presented himself someone you could talk to, someone you could trust. My mom is the most beautiful woman I've ever known. She's graceful, she's easy to talk to, and she's the one really who taught me from a very young age that giving a first impression is really important, but not even just the way you wear your clothes, but the way that you walk and the way that you present yourself to people is of utmost importance. So I feel like a lot of that is my home training. And then a lot of it is also the training that I received at my school called Ballet Royale Institute of Maryland. They really, my coach, Donna Pidell, she always made sure that I looked really clean. We weren't allowed to come into class with holes in our tights and dirty shoes. And that could be seen as, I don't have money to keep buying a pair of tights, we'll learn how to sew. And put your shoes in the washing machine. And make sure you come in with your hair clean. It's just something that, the way that you present yourself. And I've seen over the years that has worked for me. And I like to be, I've been seen as a poster child for the black ballerinas or for black dance, and I think it's important the way that I present myself to people.
You talk about your parents a lot, and clearly, along with your husband and your sister and others, they were a big part of your support system. We interviewed a lot of dancers, and a lot of dancers don't mention their parents and their support systems like that. How do you think that a dancer gets so far gone to where they forget that, you know, there were certain people at different levels that helped them? And how do you stay grounded in, you know, remembering that every level that somebody helped you?
I think that goes back to the challenges that I've had with dancing. You know, there has been 2 times in my professional career where I was not able to dance at all. I took 4 years off in 2000, where my whole world was turned upside down because I had always defined myself as a dancer, and then I wasn't able to dance anymore, and I didn't know what to do with my life. And that's when my family stepped in and they say, we love you because you're Alicia, not because you're Alicia the dancer, the star. You know, I never thought I was going to be, I never pictured my career the way that it's turned out to be. Like, I never saw myself as, you know, a lead dancer of Alvin Ailey on posters and being interviewed by magazines. Like, I just wanted to dance, and I wanted to be the best dancer that I could be. And so I think that that has helped to remember where I come from, because I know that my family doesn't care. I mean, they love it, it's great, but it's not like they push me, you have to be the star. But when I wasn't able to dance, that was rough. And then when I decided I wanted to dance again, they were like, all right, let's go, you know. And they were, when I'm crying on the phone, I don't know if I can do this, this is hard, they're the ones that lifted me up. So I think it's, you know, for me it's easy to remember those people.
Who are and were some of your inspirations, like when you first started? Who were some of the images you were seeing as far as dance, and now who inspires you as far as dance?
I guess I have to come back to my childhood again. I had a great aunt who was a dance critic in New York, and so she would go see a bunch of shows, and she went in the press package, she'd get like the 8x10 photos of Alvin Ailey or Judith Jameson, and she would have them sign it. And she would visit our home in Maryland, and my mom put up all the images in my room. But at the time, I didn't understand, I didn't even know who those people were. But now that I see the photos, it was Judith Jameson, it was Alvin Ailey, it was Virginia Johnson, who is now the artistic director of Dance Theatre Harlem, but was the star ballerina of Dance Theatre Harlem many years ago, and Cynthia Gregory, who was a very tall ballerina in American Ballet Theater. She was unusually tall. And I look back and say she chose those photos for a reason, so that I had someone to look up to. And I think every child needs an image to look up to, you know. And I know that those, like, seeing those people every night before I went to bed was like, wow.
And all of them were autographed?
All of them were autographed. And I didn't know, you know, I didn't know who they were at the time when I was young. But now, you know, I can't believe it. I work with Miss Jameson. What? Like, we text message. What? That's crazy. Yeah. And now there are several dancers that I really look up to, specifically within the Ailey company. Matthew Rushing is a dancer that I try to emulate. First of all, he's an amazing mover, and he has that it factor, that magic he can create on stage easily. But what I know about him is that it's not just because he's talented, it's because still, after 20 years at Ailey, he still takes class every day. He's still taking other classes to figure out his body, floor bar, gyrotonics. He still puts good things in his body so that good things will come out. He still mentors people. He still coaches people. He still seeks coaching from other people. He has a deeply rooted belief in God. All of those things make him Matthew Rushing. And I feel really blessed that I get to see him every day, to see what happens when you have that hard work and those beliefs. So he's probably number one. And then there are several dancers who I really just think are amazing. A newer dancer, her name is Belen Pereira. She just has that fire. I love it. And she's a newer dancer in Ailey, but she's just taken the dance world by storm, and I really enjoyed watching her. There's another woman named Jacqueline Green, who is a newer dancer at Ailey. She's really young, and I told her from the first day that she came to Ailey, I said, if you work hard and you're a good person, you're going to do really well here. And I think that prediction is coming true. I have two really good friends, Antonio Douthit Boyd and Kervin Douthit Boyd. They're just really good people, and they're really talented. Those are kind of my circle, and my partner Jamara Roberts, 6'4", perfect partner for me. He can move like a short person, but he's really tall, and I think that the way that he moves is really intriguing. Outside of the dance world, I really admire Misty Copeland. I admire her for her strength to fight the battle that she's fighting within the ballet world. And I really admire that she is branding herself, so that she is seen outside of the classical dance world, and she can inspire people who aren't even dancers. I really admire that about her. And I have a lot of teachers and mentors that have worked with me and done a lot for me, including Donna Pidell, who is my coach in Maryland, Lorraine Graves, who is a star of Dance Theater Harlem, who continues to teach me, Donald Williams is the same, Arthur Mitchell, Ms. Jamison, and now Robert Battle and Mazazumi Chaya. These are people who have shaped me over the years. Also Dwight Roden and Desmond Richardson. I just can't believe that those people that I actually know now. Like, I don't know, it's just amazing.
Based upon what we stand for, I spoke to your brother, he said that you were the perfect person that we can pick as far as being a role model for young female dancers. And one of the reasons he said that is because you believe that anyone can dance, any size, any race, and that you really pride yourself in getting people to believe in that. Can you expound on that and why you believe that any flavor of color and any size can dance and do great things?
Yeah, I mean, I think that God created people to express themselves and to move, whether that's just walking down the street or, dancing. But I've seen some of the most phenomenal dancers that come in the most interesting shapes and sizes, but that doesn't take away from their ability to express themselves. And I think that's what makes the dance world interesting, because if we all looked the same, we'd be really boring. We would be a really boring group of people to watch. That's one thing I do love about Ailey, is that we are all different looking. I'm tall, Belling is like real short, Hope Boykin is another person who I really admire. She's a shorty, 5 foot, she looks completely different than me, but we're going to be asked to be doing the same thing. So as an audience member, how interesting is that to watch? I've trained a lot of dancers as well. I had an opportunity to work at a school called Coca in St. Louis for 3 years, and those students just blew me away, because you would look at some of their facility and say, there's no way that boy is going to be able to dance. And then he puts his leg up and turns around and does everything, and it's amazing. So I'm a huge proponent for, if you have a body, you can dance.
Let's say that dance was branded and just dance itself was branded and franchised, and they put you on the executive board, meaning dance all around. Everything was just under dance, street, contemporary, ballet, everything. They put you on the executive board. What would you want for dancers if you had the opportunity to go out there and get it?
I would like for dancers to be recognized, professional dancers to be recognized as a true profession. There are a lot of times when I will tell people, oh, I'm a dancer, and they're like, you get paid to do that? Like, that's an actual job? And I want to just tell them, I've had more training than any doctor, any lawyer. I've had professional training, and my work should be recognized on the same level as a basketball player, as an NFL star. I feel like because it's the arts, it's not seen as the same level as a lot of the like sports and like commercialized sports. I would like to see dance on that level. I would like to see dancers compensated better. I would like to see commercial dancers treated not like props or a set. So those are the things that I think I would work on.
Okay. And what do you see for yourself in the future? Like, do you want to do movies, or do you want to, own your own company? What do you see for yourself in the future? Because the future's now.
Yeah, the future is now. I don't know. I don't really know. Somebody asked me the other day, like, you always say you're striving for the dream, so what's the dream? And I'm like, I think the dream changes. But just as long as every day that I'm fulfilling the vision that I have for my life, that vision can change. It has changed over the years. I see myself at Ailey for, some time, so I'm fulfilling that. My sister and I have started Dacia and Alicia Graf Arts Collective, aka DNA Arts, and I see us continuing to grow with that organization because I think it's important to reach out to dancers to continue to train, and for professional dancers to reach to the students, because we're all in it together. In the next 2 years, the students that just came to the DNA intensive, they're going to be working with me. You know what I mean? They're going to be in Ailey. They're going to be doing things. So why not make the relationship now? And we do seek to do a lot of community outreach as well, even for non-dancers, to empower young kids to hear their own voice, to know their bodies. So I see that.
Is there a website?
Yes, there is. It's www.dnaartscollective.com.
Facebook, Twitter?
And Facebook and Twitter, yes. Our Facebook is Dacia and Alicia Graf Arts Collective, and our Twitter is DNA Arts 2. But I see myself as a mom. I see myself with a family. I see myself teaching. I see myself in the business world. I see myself branded. I see myself commercially. So I think every day there's an opportunity to make something happen, even though I don't know exactly what those things are yet.
Okay. And finally, is there anyone you would like to thank for helping you thus far? We got time. I know it's a long list.
It's a long list. First, I want to thank my husband because he has allowed me to be me, to strive to be better every day, to shoot for the stars, and he's my biggest cheerleader. And I know it's hard to make the sacrifices of not seeing me every day, but that's the number one person I want to thank. And then my sister, because I think without her, I would not see the influence that I've had on someone's life. And when I see her doing well, I feel like it's because I've done well too. And we keep each other motivated. She's the one person that I can talk to as a friend who also understands the dance world. It's very hard to talk to friends outside of the dance world and have them understand what I'm going through. But because she's my sister, she has the same sensibilities as I do, and she has the same dreams and goals that I do. She just gets it, and so it makes it a great relationship. My parents have been amazing. I have 2 brothers who have always been supportive of what I do. They work really hard in their fields as well, and we're always pushing each other. It's always been like that since we were little. You're doing great. Or even if they don't say it to you, you hear them say it to other people. Sometimes that makes you feel good. But I've had several teachers that I've mentioned who have helped me along the way. I have a lot of good friends who, outside of the dance world, who have picked me up when I've been not so happy and not even in the dance world. I want to thank people at Columbia University in the School of General Studies program. They believed in me that I'm somebody outside of a dancer, and they have always supported what I've done within the university and outside of the university. So definitely Peter On, who's the dean of the Columbia University General Studies program, he has been amazing. I have a professor named Eric Foner, been amazing to me. My family, my in-laws, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, everybody, my family have been amazing.
Okay. Well, on behalf of Dance Mogul Magazine, I just want to say thank you. You've inspired me. I would never think that I would be sitting here talking to you. Just like how you looked at those pictures, you know, I'm from Newark, New Jersey, you know, the crime and the murders and everything going on right now. It's like he's doing this, and so it's inspiring to be in front of you and to see that not only just you, but I've done the background on your family. Like, you guys are Cosby's. It means that you guys are a successful family, and it's not common. It's really not. You would think that, oh, that's how it's supposed to be, but it's not. So when I saw the list that you gave me, and I saw it, I'm like, wow. I'm not stupid. I noticed that. I'm like, this is what success looks like. So I just want to thank you for showing me that. So, because when we promote that, other kids and other people are going to see that, and I hope that they understand it like I did. Like, this is what it's supposed to be. My sister's supposed to be successful. I see that too. Like, you make sure she's a part of everything. She spoke so highly of you guys. Make sure each person is successful. Not like, oh, well, she's doing her thing, or she's the black sheep. No, you guys make sure everyone is successful, and everybody needs to see that. Everybody needs to pull each other up, and once you up, you pull the next person, because that's what, you know, the other cultures do, and we need to start doing that more often. So I just want to let you know that I'm inspired by that, and I see that, and I recognize that.
I think it's all about hard work and love. Like, if you could choose the two qualities to have as a successful person, it's hard work and love. And the dancers that I see on the street who shake my hand and want to take a picture, you know, if they have a question, I'm going to answer that question. If they want advice about what to do outside of the dance world, they know that they can come to me because I've had those experiences. So, you know, mentorship is really important. Working hard, being that stand-up person, and yeah, just a lot of hard work and a lot of love.
Thank you.